friends and touch base through there. And yeah, it's just been amazing, all the awesome testimonials I've seen, you know, on the Healy experience page and the worldwide pages. It's just phenomenal. But I've been on a journey through progressive MS for the last decade pretty much, and been very, very sick, progressed very rapidly. My father actually...
So what year were you diagnosed?
2011.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, and I was in a wheelchair by 2016.
Oh, no.
And that was after taking their meds. So I was allergic to everything that they gave me, and ended up in, you know, an awful state pretty much, and had nothing else to turn to. So I had to make my own way pretty much.
So what were some of your symptoms, or what were you experiencing?
The first was stiffness, muscle rigidity and spasms, and that has been my major problem. It got that bad that it meant not walking, not being able to move very much. So, you know, I lost so much function because of this rigidity, and initially the doctors put me on muscle relaxants, but they themselves caused a lot more damage. I ended up with a lot less muscle function after being on all these medications. So my situation was even worse, and then I had to try and claw back from that. So I've had a whole holistic lifestyle change, diet, and I don't touch any Western meds. And I also use another device, I suppose you could call it device. Don't know if you've heard of them, Elise. They're called Teo patches.
I don't think I have. No,
they're like a little
pins?
No, it's a little disc. It looks like a tiny little penny, or a 5-cent piece, as we say in Australia. Tiny little 5-cent piece, and they work on the heat from your body, and you stick them on your body. I've got one up here and one on my back, and they turn the heat into light, and then that's then sent back into your cells. So it's very similar to the Healy in the way that it, you know, sends frequency but through light.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So Anita, what's your experience with the frequencies? What do you feel in your body? What does it do for you?
Well, when I run them, I really only feel a slight tingle at that time. But I'm finding the more I do, it's got such an accumulative effect, like every day. You know, I can have a day maybe where I get a bit busy, and I like to run 3 sessions, say, a day. But I've been pretty busy of late, fielding everyone's, you know, talking to everyone and making new contacts. So I haven't been doing as many, but I do find that it has such an accumulative effect, and it carries over, like it's holding me, which is a really big thing in my condition, because anything else that I've tried does not hold you. As soon as you step back a bit and take your finger off the pulse, you know, with something that may be working, you'll dip down really, really quickly. But I found with this, even if I'm not having my, you know, 3 times a day, it still really carries me, and I'm not going backwards at all like I would normally. Normally, say a stress episode, if I had to deal with something, you know, really stressful, would trigger me back into overwhelm, which would bring back all these chronic symptoms. And quite often they wouldn't go either, you know.
Do you think with chronic, do you think with chronic challenges that the 3 times a day, short periods, using it is the best way?
I think it's very personal. It's hard to say what would work for everyone. I was talking to one of the girls in our group the other day, Shayla, and she mentioned about using when you're using it from the normal app, the pink app. She mentioned about running the frequencies without the cables, and that's a lot more gentler for people with Lyme and MS. What are your thoughts on that, Elise?
I think absolutely you're right that it's personal. Every single person metabolizes differently. Every single person's body and bioenergetic makeup is personalized and different. And what's right for one person may not be right for the other. I also just want to state quickly that it's important for us to say that Healy is not designed to diagnose, treat, or cure any disease. So that's the unique thing about Healy. But what Healy is able to do is to tap into that bioenergetic field, the bioelectric field of the body, the magnetic field, the bioelectric, the bioenergetic fields of the body, and that field level of frequency and information and communication at a cellular level triggers the body's own immune pathways to regulate and to start to align themselves in a way that the body's doing the healing. The body is this master control center. And what's fascinating is that when you think in terms of the endocannabinoid system, that is the body's regulatory system. It regulates all of the other body systems and processes. Body systems, regulates all of them, and these processes for perfect balance. And so that's the system that you want to tap into. And what it appears is that that's what's happening on multiple levels. I know with MS, it's implicated as a endocannabinoid system deficiency. It's or a malfunction. How much do you know about that?
Well, I've studied quite a bit about the ECS, and I was taking the essential oils that you recommend as well initially, but I had a lot of gut issues, a lot of digestive issues.
Right.
So they ended up being a bit much. I was on Copaiba and DDR Prime from doTERRA and frankincense and a few other things. Used helichrysum quite a bit, and black pepper, pink pepper, a lot of different ones. But my system got to the point where it just wasn't coping with that. So I went gluten-free and have quite a healthy lifestyle now, and run my Healy 3 times a day. And I do a lot of inner work, like in my I suppose quest to find healing, to find answers. I've learned many different modalities, and I'm an intuitive energy healer myself, and I do a lot of work around emotional freedom technique too. So
beautiful.
I find that the Healy, just before I got my Healy, I was doing a lot of really deep inner work with EFT and talk therapy with my mentor, and I had quite a big breakthrough. I had some quite traumatic memories come up, and work through them. I'm 46 and I only just remembered them. So, and and then I write a lot. So I use writing as a way to express, and that really helped me through that. And then not long after that, I got the Healy, and it's like everything just went, whoo. It's like I released all that junk, all that trauma that I had, PTSD, anxiety, depression, all this pent up, which was keeping me in that rigidity.
Definitely. I think with your process as well, when you were on so many different meds and pharmaceuticals, and it clearly your system was in massive, you know, inflammation. And
Yes.
so
Yeah.
once you get there and that inflammation is happening, and then you've got, you know, a damaged gut, which
Yes.
would have been severe from what I'm hearing,
Yes.
you already are looking at, well, you know, just by the mere fact that you've been diagnosed with this condition, that your endocannabinoid system is implicated in that
Yes.
disease.
Oh,
So,
definitely.
yeah, so that's something. And then when you also then go with some of these other oils and things, you also have to keep in mind that the body still has to process those. It has to metabolize those, and it has to go through your filtering organs and break down and be, you know, synthesized and removed.
Yeah.
And so that also, yeah, that puts your body through some processes and some things as well. And you're absolutely right that it was just a bit too much for you.
Yeah, and that's where I find the Healy is really good, because there's so many different ways that you can administer it. Like I was just saying to you, we can run the things from the normal app, the Pink Dot app, without the connectors, for a gentle, you know, bubble around us. Or, you know, we can dial up the frequency up and down, and we can assess how long we want to run it for. So that's what I love about it, because we can tailor it exactly to what we need, and that can differ too at different times during the day even.
Yeah, so you actually take off the electrodes and still run the Pink app?
Yeah, so I've only just started to try that. One of the girls in our group has done a bit of research and found out that you can do that, and it creates like a healing bubble, or a Healy bubble, we should say, around us with the frequencies. Yeah, but they did say it's best to use when there's no one else close by, because it's your, you know, your frequency you're running, I suppose.
Yeah,
but,
yeah. So you're not actually, at that point, you're not running the microcurrents. You're just running the frequencies themselves, more like that, the resonance in the blue app.
Yes, yeah, exactly. So, and I've only just started trying to do that, because Shayla in our group told us about that 2 days ago. So, but normally I do, with my 3 times a day, I normally do 2 goes with the resonance app, with the Blue Dot app. So just going with my recommended groups.
Yeah.
And I just intuitively pick, you know, with kinesiology, muscle testing, as to how long I need to do that.
Right.
And then usually on my 3rd go, I think, what is it, you know, if I've got a pressing issue like a sore muscle, or I might be feeling a bit tired, I'll pick one that aligns with that.
So you pick the frequencies yourself, or do you allow the resonance, the quantum sensor, to then do you do a scan to see what frequencies it recommends? Or...
I do both. I usually do 3 sessions a day on myself.
Yeah.
And 2 of those I'll run the resonance, so getting the recommended groups. And then the 3rd one I'll normally just pick out of the Pink Dot app. So, you know, just pick out of my programs. So yeah, I like to do the scan to get the recommendation, but I also like to intuitively pick myself.
Right. And did you notice any sort of detoxing when you began this?
Probably only a little, only very slightly, but that would be because I've already done massive amounts of detoxing. So I can see how this would promote that. And I have, like, people, I do a lot of distance. I've been doing a lot of distance sessions too on my clients, and I've, you know, let them know that, you know, just to be aware of it. But with me, it wasn't too bad at all, really, because I'd pretty much done, you know, I've done a lot of detoxing. So I think I was at that stage where my body could handle it okay. Whereas before, anything that I'd done that would promote any slight detox would undo me completely.
So which program do you run, Anita? Do you run the Pure or?
Well, I haven't even tried them all yet. I just I get my recommended group and go with that, and quite often there's the gold cycle and the deep cycle. Quite often there's bioenergetics 1 and 2, and the sleep program. I often get fitness. I really love care and release and pure.
Yes.
Yeah. I do them a lot. They're usually the one, like if I'm to pick one, I usually pick one of those. Yeah.
Yes.
They are fundamental. There's such fundamental programs that I think are really the core of a lot of what Healy is about.
Yes. Yeah. Well, that's what I was doing yesterday when I was trying it without the connectors. I was using a lot of the gold cycle programs and doing it that way, and I thought they'd be great, you know, as a program group to try in that way, delivering that way.
Yeah. So can you explain a little bit what, or do you fully understand what MS is and what's happening?
Well, we're told that it is an autoimmune disease and the body is attacking itself. I don't know if personally I fully agree with that. I don't agree with the idea of suppressing the immune system. We all need our immune system, and if they suppress it, then we'll be in trouble. So I think the idea is we need to balance our immune system. We need to balance our whole bodily systems, and that's where the endocannabinoid system comes into play, because that's the system that oversees that whole balance.
I'll share a screen with you for a moment and just show you some images that may help you get a better idea. Let me just see. Let me stick on my glasses. I can't see what I'm doing at the moment.
Like that.
So
good to have you on, Anita.
Sorry? Oh,
so
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. It's great to connect.
For you. So I'm just going to show you guys an image for a moment so that you can see this. So basically, just to better understand, we've got the nerve cell. And the nerve cell has these protective coverings called the myelin sheath. Yeah. And so in normal nerve cell signaling, what we have is this beautiful nerve cell here. And then these are the myelin sheaths here, and they get degraded, they get broken down. And when our central nervous system and our peripheral nervous systems fire, they actually can send electrical signals very, very quickly because they actually jump. Oops, let me get rid of that. They jump these gaps here so they can shoot down this nerve cell very, very quickly. When you don't have these myelin sheaths there, they have to run the whole length of the nerve cell. So there is potential for not as fast signaling, for pain and damage and a host of things. And I don't know if you can see this image a little bit lower. I'll try to move this. So there again, you've got your nerve cell here. You've got your dendrites on this side. You have, the axon here. And again, here's your little myelin. And so these signals will travel, they'll jump. They will jump through here to move very, very quickly. So that's what typically that you want. And so what's exciting for us to understand now is that where once we thought that there's no way, let me get rid of that for a minute. Let me open up another one. I'm sorry. Where once we thought that was it, once it's gone, it's gone. In fact, through the endocannabinoid system, we're finding out that these little dudes here, these little oligodendrocytes, and it's such a hard thing to say.
Yeah, oligodendrocytes.
Yeah. Oligodendrocytes. So these little dudes here actually come in, and through having cannabinoid receptors on them, they're finding that these awesome little dudes can help to remyelinate the nerve cells.
Yes.
So this little guy would probably be your best friend. And so to support that particular cell would be of big interest to anyone struggling from this sort of, condition.
Yes.
So I just wanted to show that, because for you or anybody else that doesn't fully understand that, that's a very important concept to get.
Yes. Yeah. I really, I've done a lot of research, around the myelin sheath and everything, but I really like that, the way you put that, how the receptors in the oligodendrocytes. Is that how you say it?
Well done.
Yes, and the mitochondria and all that. I've followed a lot of that for years, and done a lot of research, and I've got all of George Jelinek's books, and watched absolutely everything. But in the end, I just ended up finding my own way, and as I cleared a lot of the trauma, like the inner sort of trauma and turmoil that I had, a lot more clarity was shown to me as well, as a way forward in finding things that would help me, manage my condition. So it's been amazing, and it's so empowering knowing that I've got this little device to at my fingertips, and I can use it whenever I need to help me.
And you've noticed definitely that you're not going backwards. And was there any time in your life where you found yourself moving backwards? And
very much so. I was diagnosed in 2011 with relapsing remitting MS, but my father committed suicide when he was 47 because he had progressive MS. It was very rapid, and he was in quite a bad state. He was bedbound. And so I've seen this at its worst, and it's a bloody awful illness. So, and I was pretty bad. I was diagnosed with RRMS to start with, but I never had any remission. I just went downhill fast, never had any remission. So everything I accumulated, like every symptom, gathered momentum and got worse and took me downhill. And then as I went I got scared, so I went with what the doctors told me, and that made me go downhill even more. I had had quite a bad reaction to Tysabri. I'm not sure if you're aware of that medication, Elise. And that after 3 months, I had quite a massive reaction to that. And after that, ended up in the wheelchair.
Oh, no.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you've had a heck of a journey, beautiful girl. You have really had a heck of a journey. And it's such a pleasure to see you and speak to you and see your passion for life and that sparkle in your eyes. I mean, you're a real inspiration.
Oh, thank you.
You are a really big inspiration to people. And the fact that you've been diagnosed with this condition, and yet you reach out and you do your best to assist others and be there for others. That's beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Well, it's a passion of mine, because as I said, I saw, I lived this as a teenager. I saw my father go through this, and, and I've been to the depths of depression myself with having to deal with this illness, in my own way as well, not just seeing it in my father. So, and yes, that nearly undid me, but it was sort of being able to see it from two sides. Like, I experienced a parent with MS, so then that gave me strength, I think, to be strong for my children and my grandson. So,
oh wow!
So I've got a 5-year-old grandson and a granddaughter on the way.
Wow!
Maybe the deep cycle with neural could help her as well, wouldn't it?
What I just wanted to ask you just a question. in that with pain, because you did mention pain, and we do know that Healy is a device that has been FDA cleared for pain. So I'd like to know
if in Australia, sorry, for pain.
I think that currently it's just as a TENS unit right now.
Yeah.
They're getting everything sorted for the rest to come. But Australia usually follows suit with America in that regard.
Yes.
But again, you know, we just always say that's not what Healy was designed for. It's not designed to diagnose, treat, or cure any disease state. It's about achieving balance and finding balance on a much deeper level. And with the science that we now have, we understand more about these, you know, these electrical centers in the body, that it's even deeper than that, that it's, you know, biophotons and into that whole auric field and the energy vortexes and energy centers. And we understand that every single cell in the body is vibrating and has a frequency. And that's a harmonic resonance for perfect balance. And when that harmonic resonance is disrupted, then we want to bring that back into balance.
Yes, exactly. And it can be disrupted, you know, that disruption can present as a chronic illness. As emotional instability. So but it can be balanced. Whatever it is, it can be balanced.
And that's the way to do it. I think it's the way of the future as well, because up until now, we've done the best we could with what we had. If we had had more knowledge, we would do better. But I think now our greatest minds and our scientists and our greatest doctors are really starting to understand this fundamental system and how it relates to overall wellness. I mean, not everybody's on board, but this is an exciting new era of wellness. And
definitely. You can see how you know the resonance effect, so to speak, works when you're doing all this talk therapy, you know, hypnotherapy, and all of this inner work. You know, that's what you're doing to yourself when you're changing your thought patterns, you're changing your frequency, and uplifting your vibration. And then when you add the Healy to it as well, it's it's phenomenal, really, how I feel within myself. You know, like how much stronger emotionally, you know, not just physically but emotionally too, and stable.
And you noticed that straight away, or did that take time?
Yeah. Well, look, I noticed it pretty much straight away. I've been introduced to Healy for a month now. Is
that all?
That's all. Only a month. And my very first session was a distant session. My very first session was a distant session, and it was awesome. Like, I noticed it the next morning. I woke up and didn't use my manual hoist. The very next morning after my distance.
Oh, really? Wow.
And I was like, wow. And from then on, I just felt awesome. And I didn't have another distance session. I didn't have any other Healy input until about 2 weeks later. But I was still having the benefits. They were still there.
You just gave me chills.
They were still there just from this one distance session that Emma gave me over the phone. And I really wasn't, like, she said, I'll send it later. And she was in a rush and I was in a rush. And I really didn't, you know, because I'm an energy healer and we hadn't touched base, you know, properly like we normally would, seeing each other's eyes, setting things up. I'm like, I don't know if that'll work, you know. I was like, whatever, you know. I really wasn't, I just didn't know, you know. And I was just so blown away. I bought it the next day. I'm like, holy crap, I need one. Give me the top one now.
And that's the power behind frequency therapy.
And you know, that session, that first distance session, I only just realized yesterday, but that was on my father's birthday.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So
That's
very meaningful.
that's powerful.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Very.
Powerful.
wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
Anita, why I reached out to you because I'm an educational naturopath and I love education, same as Elise, and
yeah.
I really think it works in layers. So
Yeah.
it works from the outside in. Some people it's just the other way around, but yeah, like you say, I have clients going into meditation in my room when they put the Healy on.
Yes. Yeah.
And a lady yesterday, she went to her when she was little, all the way back, and then she came out and she said, you know what, it's just so healing without me even talking.
Yes. Yes. Oh, it is. It's amazing. I don't know if you're aware, Nicole, but in the Healy group I'm in, like Emma's group, one of my team members, she had a sore tooth, and she booked into the dentist. She had a lot of tooth pain, and it was going grey, and so it was in a pretty bad way. And she's a nurse, and she's waiting for her resonance, but it's not here yet.
Yeah.
So she reached out and said, "Can anyone do a frequency? Send frequency to me." So I'm like, "Yeah, I will." And I did it 3 nights in a row. She's cancelled her dentist appointment.
Oh,
The
really?
cover's gone. In the first session, after about a minute, I think it ran for 12 minutes. And after about a minute, her pain dropped by 50%.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we did it 3 nights in a row after that. She wasn't sleeping at all before, and she slept till 2 the first night. And then the second night she slept all the way through. And then the third day she was doing a lot better. It was just for the swelling, but she said it felt like she'd had a dental injection, so it had taken away the pain. Yeah.
Wow. Did she eventually have it checked just to make sure she didn't have an infection, or it was?
Yes, I think she is going to do that. Yeah, being a nurse, she's on top of all that, but.
Yeah.
She at first it was like an emergency situation, thinking she had to get into the dentist, and she didn't have to in a hurry at all in the end. So it was amazing.
Yeah. And I think with analysis, it tells you so clearly where the challenge is. Is it a mind challenge or a physical challenge? And listening to that doctor, what you sent to me, that story, what she does with her clients is amazing, isn't it? The doctor that you do. You follow a doctor on Anita follows a doctor, Elise,
Dr.
on
Kim.
Internet.
Yeah.
And she does a lot of mindfulness with her clients, and she I think she healed from autoimmune herself, purely working on her mind, and just amazing. Yeah,
she's one of my main mentors. I followed her right from when I was diagnosed in 2011, and I really think her work has been, the foundation of a lot of what's happening to me now. Like it's led me to the Healy, I'd say. I was it's led me. It's been a stepping stone. Yeah. She's spectacular. She really is. Her work's amazing.
She is so generous, interested in people.
Yes.
When she's online, you get so drawn to her. Like
she's amazing.
In your room when she comes on.
Well, see, again, that's why I'm so excited about the endocannabinoid system. I don't know if you were able to see my last lecture on Zoom that I did for the Netherlands.
Yes, Nicole sent it to me. That's why I was so keen to catch up, because I was blown away.
That's what's so exciting about, even because I truly believe the endocannabinoid system is a bridge between those energies, those other layers of who we are as a multidimensional being, versus getting that information into the physical body. And then you want it in a cyclic relationship. You want that in a feedback. You don't want one-way communication. You want, you know, bidirectional communication, because that way both bodies and outer informational fields are getting feedback from each other. And that we now understand, based on all the science that I've seen, I firmly believe that the pineal gland is playing a major role in that. And we know that that pineal gland is energetically connected to, you know, the third eye chakra. And we meditate, it's sensitive to light. It does things in the body. It has crystals. It has crystals that, I mean, this when energetically stimulated, help bioelectric and chemical and energetic charges in the body, and a transfer, it turns into, you know, a transducer. That's huge.
Yeah, and that's why plant medicine, plant frequency, plant vibrations, you know, any kind of frequency, I think is just the way to go. You know, that's how we all work, isn't it?
At that fundamental quanta, indivisible unit of measure, that's where we're all tied together. That's where we're all connected. That is the grass that we grow from, that we bloom from, that dictates who how we assemble our matter. And so why not? I mean, it just makes sense. Of course you would start there. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, it makes absolute sense. And it really, it's quite mind-boggling when you think of all the other options that people like me are given, you know, in this condition. And then you look at this option.
Well, I know that Nina has done such incredible work. Marcus has done incredible work. The people that these guys and the doctors and therapists that have worked through their parent company, I mean, when you look at the trail of success and the trail of assisting people that were written off by the medical community because there was nothing more that they believed they could do for them, you know?
And it happens, unfortunately, it happens in the holistic, I suppose you'd say, holistic community too. When you're a hard case, as they say. You know, I've had a lot of naturopaths and holistic doctors help me out for a few months and then say, no, sorry, can't do anything else. And even though I'm willing to keep paying and keep going and keep trying, you know, I've had...
But that's the problem. When you're dealing with symptoms, when somebody, you can't throw enough at symptoms. Symptoms are always there. They are symptoms of some fundamental root cause. So now we understand that if by going to that place, that field, and getting to that area, then we affect the cellular communication of the body and the energetic communication of the body. And when we can get in that feedback loop.
At that core level. At that core level, and find out that root cause or that root vibration or distortion.
So could anybody take your Healy from you now?
No, no one's having it. I've got my second one coming, actually.
Oh, yes. I got a free resonance too. We're still waiting, Healy's.
We're waiting. It'll get here. As long as I got mine, nobody's taking it, I'll tell you.
Same here.
I just have to tell you, Anita, you really are an inspiration. I'm so thrilled. You know, I'm so thrilled that you're getting the results that you're getting. That is fantastic.
It's amazing. I feel so very blessed to, you know, to have found it and to be in such an amazing community and to be meeting so many amazing people, and also to give hope, you know, to share hope, because so many people that are in, you know, in the same situation as me, they give up because they're not given any hope. You know, they don't see any hope.
No, it's a hard one. And I think education, what we do, like Elise and I are really for education people and give them the knowledge instead of, that's why I changed in being an educational naturopath, because you're always going to a clinical situation as a patient and you're sitting there and, you know, you take, of course, all the food supplements that they gave to you, but a lot of times you can't use them, or they cause accumulation.
So damaged a lot of times that it can't even, you know, it can't even metabolize. It can't even break down certain things.
I've tried so many different things, and that's what happened to me. You know, I tried the bone broth thing, and my body couldn't metabolize all that protein. You know, I tried the you know, the pea protein drinks. You know, because I've been trying to put weight on for quite some time, and you know, and if I have high dose protein, in 5 minutes I'm passed out in the chair or vomiting, vomiting. And so I've tried so many different things and have to be so careful. But I'm finding now that like Elise said, healing the gut has been a major thing. Now that I'm pretty much gluten free, occasionally I'll have a little cheat day, but I'm pretty much gluten free. And my I used to work in a bakery. I can't resist the pies. I can't say no.
Hey, you still need to live.
Yeah. Before all this, you know, before I was diagnosed with MS, I was a waitress for 25 years and I was working 10-hour days.
Wow. Wow. Yeah.
And then
I was a fair share of activity and movement, and we just know stress is a killer, and inflammatory responses in the body, we have to learn to bring those down and to tone those down. And again, I will say it over and over and over, the ECS, that is our the foreman on our job site. We want that guy. We want that system working for us and not against us. And when it's working against us, these are the problems. So well done to you that you started studying that and you realized that that was, you know, an integral part of your way to free yourself to better states of well-being.
Oh, yes. Yeah, that is the key in my, you know, that and frequency is the key in my opinion. That for me, it's been the answer for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely, I agree. I believe frequency actually, you know, works like messengers into that system and activates those important signaling processes in the body. So I think that it's such a beautiful support system, and then you also don't have the same loss, you know, because it's not a chemical messenger. It's a frequency messenger. It sends more energy through the system. There's not as much loss in byproduct of signaling, and there's not a lot of like you know, detoxing that has to happen.
That's where this is brilliant.
So Anita, the nutritional app will be a good one for you too then.
Sorry,
the nutritional app.
From
what I can gather though, you've got to pay a monthly fee, like a
it is monthly. But I tried it. You know, you can get it for a month, utilize the frequencies, find out what works for you, and then you know, you can contact a time waiver therapist who can then give you those frequencies to your Healy. You know, through that as well. But
so you can do just 1 month if you want.
I ordered it now, and it actually tells you which foods you can be allergic for, or intolerance, and I'm really keen to get it in my practice and help myself and my clients and my family, of course. And I think it's a great add-on to what we do, because you can actually send people to the grocery shop and get the right groceries, and then really start healing the gut with, you know, organic vegetables and everything. And I truly think that's the way to go, because sometimes food supplements are necessary, but a lot of times it's just too much.
Yeah, and that's, I agree. I totally agree. That's what I do. I don't supplement with anything now.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just too much.
Yeah.
It's too much.
It was too much for my body. Yeah.
Yeah. I have to say, girls, it's been so beautiful speaking to you.
Me too.
I thank you so much, Anita. I think you're amazing. I love that you reach out to so many other people and help them. Yeah.
Thank you so much for reaching out. You're such a beautiful girl to follow you and see all your results every day. That's a different story and gives people hope. And Elise, thanks for jumping on as being a biologist and you know, add all your amazing knowledge to it. And I'm just so grateful that we could meet today. And
yes, thank you so much. It's been wonderful to connect with you both.
Yeah, Anita, keep talking, keep telling your story.
Yeah.
You're empowering and inspiring, and I have a feeling your body's gonna really work for you, baby.
Me too.
I'm working on it.
Yeah, I'm pretty
I'm hoping to get back to my power yoga soon, my Pilates. I used to do shoulder stands a long time ago.
So are you at all mobile?
I can transfer, like stand up and transfer to certain things, not the car, but to like to the toilet or to the bed.
Okay.
Yeah, just getting that back. I was like only 6 months ago I was using the electric hoist.
And now you're able to do that yourself.
And just before the Healy I'd gone to the manual hoist, just with my holistic sort of lifestyle change, you know, gut repair and diet and, you know, managing the ECS, and it was really helping. So I'd got to using the manual from the electric, but then once I introduced the Healy, I was able to use my walker. So now every morning I use my walker instead of the manual hoist. Yeah. And actually in the shower, I do still use the manual hoist to and from the commode. But that whole thing's a lot easier. And the other day I did go back to my wheelchair with my walker, but that's a bit difficult because there's small area and lots of equipment. So I can only do it when husband's about to help.
Oh, yeah. Oh, great.
So
every day it seems to be something, you know, something a bit more, like I'm standing up straighter and I can stretch now without having a violent reaction. Because if I tried to stretch in my chair, like stretch my back out, I'd get a nasty spasm in my pelvis and my groin, and both my legs and my knees would come up to my chest like that and nearly throw me out of the chair. And and if I was to do it when I was laying down, it would put me in a full extensive spasm, which meant I couldn't breathe. It'd lock me back. And that happened a lot when I was asleep, like in bed. I'd wake up and then be locked like that and couldn't breathe, and then I'd go into a panic attack. And
of course. And that hasn't happened now.
No, I'd actually been able to stop that before the Healy, that full-on spasm. That I'd actually come out of that before getting my Healy, but I was still doing what I call the plank. Both my legs, sometimes I've got to sleep with my knees bent and propped up, because if I don't, I'll plank. They'll just go and I'll be in lock, and it nearly pops my hips out and twists my spine, and I can't move. Someone has to unlock me. Wow. And and that was happening quite frequently during the night, not the full one, but just the lower half. And now that I've got the Healy, it only happens occasionally, like probably once every 4 mornings or something. And I've noticed now that probably say, 3 times out of 4 when it happens, I can pull myself out of it. I can because I'm getting a lot more core strength now, so I can lean up and pull my legs to release most of the time, whereas before I'd have to wake my hubby up and say, unlock me, you know, I can't move. And he sleeps really heavily, so I'd take ages to wake him up and help me.
Wow.
But yeah, it's most of the time I can do it myself now, which is a big thing as well. You know, just having that extra bit of independence and sleeping a lot better, and sleep all the way through now, instead of if I do plank, it'll be in the morning. So I sleep all the way through. And I'm not peeing usually, except I had a late drink last night, so I did pee last night. But usually I'm not peeing during the night now.
Yeah. Well done to you on your journey. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Thank you so much for sharing.
That's all right. That's all right. I'm happy to share my journey, and love to share hope and spread hope, and just hope people can have a similar outcome, similar journey. And
beautiful. And thanks, Nicole, as well, for being the therapist that you are and bringing people together, and again, empowering, inspiring, educating. Well done to you, beautiful lady.
Yeah.
Thank you, Elise. You're beautiful too. I think we have a great team, and caring, hey?
It's awesome to know that we're surrounded with such beautiful people that just want to help everyone.
I love it. I've never seen a community quite like this. I'm so glad to be so deeply involved, and I look forward to the future with this company. It's phenomenal. I love it. And pleasure talking to you beautiful women today. I look forward to watching your journey, Anita. You are an inspiration and empowering. And Nicole, as always, thank you for being the networker and the amazing therapist in person that you are, bringing these things together and making them happen.
Thank you. Thank you, Elaine.
It's been an awesome opportunity. Thank you.
Have a great day. Thanks. Bye.